Welcome all to the Amir Shakur Speaks morning show, and welcome friends, welcome everyone who is just having the vitality to just get up in the morning. I'm a 4 a.m. waker upper, and if there is such a word, and I think it's great. I do more before 6 a.m. than most people do all day. I didn't make that up, but I just used it. There you go. So I'd like to welcome you, and we're broadcasting live from the Midwest, Chicagoland to be exact, reaching across the globe to the 708 and the 1.0. See, that's the thing about morning. You get tongue twisted, tongue locks up, and all of that. So maybe my executive producers won't fire me. Maybe I won't fire myself, but hey, we're gonna keep hope alive. You're not locked into the frequency of progress. Did you hear me? I said the frequency of progress. The voice for the voiceless, the advocate for accountability, and the architect of the Global Influencers Playbook, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. But it's time to write up, level up, speak up, stand up, speak out. Hey, let's do what we do every day. So broadcasting live, this is your friend, your homie, your boy, whatever you want to say about me. But I'm Amir Shakur Speaks, and this is the morning show. And I'm your host, Amir A.H. Shakur. So again, from the heart of the city live, Chicago South Chicago 1B, the ADS studios. And this morning on this great Tuesday. I believe it's April 7th, all right? And we're powered by the Amir Shakur Speaks ASN News. So if you haven't had a chance, go ahead and check that out on Facebook and the soon-to-be developed website for ASN News. But, no filters, no scripts, just the uncut truth. You're rocking with the sharpest mind in the morning. Amir Shakur Speaks. So let's get to it. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't followed, please like, subscribe, and share to our YouTube channel, Amir Shakur Speaks. And that's going to be on YouTube, like I said. And if you want to just join the conversation and you have a voice, like I said, stand up and speak out. So, all right. So that's what's up. Good morning, y'all. Again, we have a changing news cycle as we have over the last 2 to 3 weeks. It's been an amazing trip. I'm just gonna say the least. And trip is in all capital letters. So we're starting off with the 48-hour notice that Trump has issued to Iran. All hell will break down. In 48 hours, President Trump has issued a stark 48-hour notice to the Iranian government demanding the immediate and unconditional reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, right? And we'll talk a little bit about the strait and what it is. And again, it's emblematic of this characteristic of a high-stakes social media battle and ground battle that Trump has been waging almost single-handedly against Iran and his administration, along with the Israeli leadership. And Trump warned that if the strategic shipping lane, the Strait of Hormuz, which basically 20 to 25% of the oil goes through, is not fully operational by the new deadline is Tuesday at 8 p.m., which is today, 8 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time, the United States will move to obliterate Iran's critical infrastructure. So we're on a countdown. We're on a 48-hour countdown, and the latest ultimatum serves as a sharp reminder of the 10-day pause that he granted on March 26th to allow for diplomatic talks. So we're almost a week after that, and doesn't seem to be slowing down. At least the rhetoric doesn't. At least. With that window now closing, the administration has pivoted back to the posture of maximum military pressure. And I remember when Iran was given 10 days to make a deal or open up the Strait of Hormuz. You got 10 days to open up the strait or else. And now the time is running out, and 48 hours before all hell will rain down on Iran. And, glory to God and all of this. So let's take a look and let's go to the video. Let's see if we can pull up the video from that and just highlight the video. We'll highlight a little bit about what's going on around this controversial Iran move. Bear with us 1 second. Is that clip ready? I think it is, but we'll see. Okay, there it is. Thank you.
We begin with the war in Iran. Today, President Trump reiterating his threats to destroy Iran's bridges and power plants if they don't meet his deadline to reopen the Strait of Hormuz.
The deadline is 5 p.m. our time tomorrow. KTLA's Rachel Medetoff live in the news center with the latest developments. Rachel.
Micah, Sandy, Trump says the entire country could be taken out in a matter of hours if a deal isn't reached. He says he's not concerned about breaking international law, but he also said he hopes he doesn't have to launch strikes against civilian infrastructure.
Which is it? Are you winding this down?
Can't tell you.
Or are you escalating?
I can't tell you. I don't know. I can't tell you. Depends what they do.
President Donald Trump wouldn't give any timeline or a definitive answer about a ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran, but says the Iranian regime can kiss their infrastructure goodbye if they don't adhere to his Tuesday deadline to reopen the Strait of Hormuz and allow oil to flow.
I can't talk about ceasefire, but I can tell you that we have a active, willing participant on the other side. Giving them till tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern time, and after that, They're going to have no bridges. They're going to have no power plants.
Meantime, Iranian state media reports that officials reject the proposal and are calling for a permanent end to the war. Iran has let some vessels through the critical waterway since the war began, but none belonging to the U.S. or its allies. Israel confirms it killed the IRGC chief of intelligence in an airstrike in Tehran Monday morning. The ongoing war is drawing mixed reaction and seems to be divided down party lines.
These are significant steps that were taken to eliminate the threat posed by a nuclear Iran.
Donald Trump has gotten us into this reckless war of choice without ever clearly laying out the strategic objectives, the plan.
And during the 2-hour news conference, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and others detailed the daring rescue operation of a U.S. service member whose plane was shot down in Iran.
They were high-risk, high-stakes missions conducted in the heart of enemy territory.
Bleeding and with a sprained ankle, he apparently climbed up a steep mountain, treated his own wounds, hid inside a crevice while his military and CIA partners pushed a deception campaign to throw the Iranians off the trail.
Our intelligence reflects that the Iranians were embarrassed and ultimately humiliated by the success of this audacious rescue mission.
And Trump claimed today that the Iranian people are willing to suffer through a bombing campaign if this eventually secures their freedom from the current regime. In the news center, I'm Rachel Menitoff. Sandy, back to you.
So for that information, and we want to go back to the news cycle, and let's just talk a little bit about what it is and break it down. So for those who are just joining, we're talking a little bit about the 48-hour countdown that the president's latest ultimatum, and I have to say latest and put that in parentheses, it serves as a sharp reminder of the 10-day pause that was granted roughly a week ago. So what's at stake in this conflict? The conflict which has escalated sharply following the joint U.S. and Israeli strikes, I should say, on February 28th. It centers around the Strait of Hormuz. It's a maritime artery, and let's see if we can pull up that visual, which is responsible for nearly 20% of the world's oil and natural unfiltered gas. So the strait itself is it's probably a 4-hour, maybe 2 to 4 hour from one end to the other passage. And again, 20% of the world's oil and gas is, pretty much goes through it. So Iran's blockade, because it is controlled by Iran, Iran's blockade is something that has been used in the past, and it's an effective blockade of the route since February, which has sent the global energy markets in a tailspin, with crude oil prices and just surging to $120 per barrel. The president's strategic threats and energy infrastructure is really, many folks, including myself, we don't believe it's helping. Many of the critics, many of the multimedia, many of the observers on the ground, including its experts and specialists, are saying that, first of all, targeting of major power plants with a strategy of hurting civilian populations by most means is a violation of the Geneva Convention and considered a war crime, to say the least. There's a continued decimation of the Iranian radar and air defense systems, but according to Mr. Trump, it was already dismantled. The systems, the military, the Navy were dismantled, and now we know that isn't exactly the case. So as this case tailspins into unknown levels, we are seeing escalated tensions. The lost aircraft, which we're losing, the notice comes at a time of intense military friction. On Friday, the U.S. confirmed the loss of one F-15E Strike Eagle over Iranian territory, while one crew member was rescued. The other one was recently rescued as well, but definitely spent the better part of 48 hours on Iranian land, on the ground in territory, looking to be fought. So Tehran has claimed to have shot down a second F-35 fighter jet, though these the reports are unverified as we speak. So what's going on right now is the United States is asking for a diplomatic Hail Mary, and the majority of the citizens, and I would say the majority in caps and quotations, are looking at this as an unnecessary escalation, to say the least. And all hell rhetoric, the back channel negotiations are not helping, and Turkey, Pakistan, and Egypt are financially working to bridge the gap between the Donald Trump administration's 16-point proposal. It was 15, now it's 16, and Tehran's demand for a succession of hostilities. Iranian officials have publicly dismissed the 48-hour notice as an unbalanced work of fools, and unbalanced and foolish is quite an understatement, but yet it's signaling a willingness to join the talks in Pakistan to avoid the total collapse of their power grid. So what happens now? Well, I think that the nation, the world, is watching what is going to happen tonight at 8 o'clock. We'll be doing a special program on my channel. I will be hosting that. And the world's eyes and ears are right now on the Persian Gulf. If the Strait does not open, the United States is in position to launch Epic Fury, which I guess we were in that, but maybe we're not. So maybe this phase of it will be Operation Epic Fury. At the same time, a massive military campaign that, like Senator Lindsey Graham said, will end the regime's reign of terror. But for now, the global economy hangs in the balance. And the 48-hour window could either lead to a historic peace deal or a devastating expansion of the war in the Middle East and throughout Asia. So let's look at the Iranian response to the issue. And really, I think that it's two totally different contrasts. I'm not sure, which side of the notice is. I mean, it just seems to be a lot of confusion, to say the least. And let's watch the clip, and you will definitely understand what I'm saying. To be pulled up. Do we have the clip? Okay, there's the clip. So, 1 second. All right, there it is. I'm sorry, guys. I think we're running a little slow this morning.
Overnight, Iran responding to a new deadline from President Trump, who's threatening to bomb Iranian power plants and other infrastructure unless the Strait of Hormuz is opened by tomorrow night. Iran's Navy Command now posting on social media, the Strait of Hormuz will never return to its former state, especially for America and Israel. The response coming hours after President Trump's profanity-laced threat warning, Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day all wrapped up in one. Trump ordering Iran to, in his words, open the expletive strait, you crazy expletive, or you'll be living in hell. He signed off with the words, praise be to Allah. Trump later telling ABC News, if Iran does not make a deal, we're blowing up the whole country. Experts warn bombing civilian infrastructure could be a war crime.
This could turn into more of what would be a total war. And essentially, there is no target off limits. And that is something that we've tried to avoid since the end of World War II as an international community.
Some Democrats blasting the president.
Donald Trump has gotten us into this reckless war of choice without ever clearly laying out the strategic objectives, the plan, how this is designed to actually make life better for the American people.
Well, some Republicans say it's about time.
If you don't undertake the conflict, if you just step back and watch, as the Obama administration was going to do while Iran became a nuclear power and they became North Korea, we wouldn't be looking at the Strait of Hormuz. We'd be looking at what's, having Europe be at risk.
The heightened rhetoric comes as we learn new details about the rescue of a U.S. airman trapped deep inside Iran. Hundreds of special operations forces carried out the nighttime raid to bring him home. One of two on board an F-15 Strike Eagle shot down Friday. The pilot was rescued in hours, but the weapons systems officer spent more than a day hiding from Iranian forces in a mountain crevice.
This is an incredibly perilous situation. You've got to locate them. You've got to assess their mobility, assess their health status. Are they compromised? Are they, is there any other threats around them?
It was during the mission that the colonel made a brief radio call. President Trump claimed the pilot said, "Power be to God." But a U.S. official now confirms the actual message was, "God is good." Trump says he was initially thrown off by the unusual message, worrying Iran might have been using it to lure U.S. forces into a trap. During the rescue mission, an A-10 Warthog was shot down. That pilot ejected after flying to Kuwait. And 2 U.S. aircraft suffered technical malfunctions and were deliberately destroyed by U.S. troops to avoid them falling into Iranian hands.
President Trump told us he thinks this conflict could be over in days, not weeks, and he claimed Iranian civilians want him to bomb their infrastructure to weaken the regime.
So what happened? The conversation of the moment is about the 48 hours that President Donald Trump has issued, the diplomatic rhetoric that is slowly increasing, the all hell rhetoric that was given to Iran in demands for a ceasefire and opening the Strait of Hormuz. So what happens next is the clock ticks towards 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, or Eastern Time, I should say, which is the deadline. The new deadline again was that we have to add for the world's eyes are on the Persian Gulf, and if the strait is not open, the U.S. is positioned to launch the Epic Fury operation, which some were saying, observers were saying, is a military massive and air campaign to Tehran to open up the strait, target their critical infrastructure, and it's amazing that our president Donald Trump says he doesn't care about war crimes, because I think that would be something that is in the balance of his particular future, and for a sitting president to say I don't care about war crimes is definitely amazing. So if you're just joining us and you want to comment, go into the chat room, Amir Shakur Speaks broadcast channel. You can comment directly, and you can join our VIPs in the chat room about this incident, about the 48-hour ultimatum, which is this evening at 8 p.m. tonight, that President Trump has given to Tehran and the Israeli administration, I should say. And, we must note that this is a single-handed escalation with not a lot of support from any member allied countries from around the world. This is a solo thing, only because of the lack of disbelief. And unfortunately, it's a very unpopular action around the world. All right. So let's, our VIPs, let's see what you have to say. The Trump administration is a joke and a disgrace to the U.S. and other foreign countries. And he is a war hog. Well, you know what? I don't think that you'd get a huge argument about that. So thank you for that comment, Ramona. And I want to go ahead and let's see. What else do we have to say out there, folks? I hate the way the administration is making the U.S. to other countries look like bullies, and to other countries with no compassion or concerns for the citizens of other countries is unethical. Unethical, to say the least. Good morning. Mr. Smith, good morning. Good morning to you, and thank you for coming to the show. Yes, I think that the whole critical piece is, the rhetoric, which doesn't help, from the Trump administration. And one of the things that we haven't gotten into, is the military support is waning. And as of this week, over 30, let's count that. I want you to know that over 30 of the country's top military officials have been dismissed due to their lack of support for Operation Epic Fury mostly, but there are other issues that are really highly involved. So we want to go ahead and keep that in mind, as well as we are addressing and watching for what's going on in Tehran. So if you're just joining us, the question of the hour is, the whole world is watching for this 48-hour misjudgment. Let's say that. Let's be clear. It is definitely a misjudgment, and presidential pundits like Lindsey Graham are saying that the war will end the regime's reign of terror. Well, I think that at this point we haven't seen that, and there's a debate, a global debate, that if there is a war of terror, has it been truly proven? Even with it not being proven, the nuclear aspect of this is that Iran has had a nuclear program that they've been secretly developing and promised to capsize it after giving, I believe, the tune of multiple billions of dollars by the Obama administration, which first put together the deal for Iran to come under a nuclear balance. So for now, the global economy hangs in the balance. Your gas and your pocketbook is slowly going further up. And now that Mr. Trump is going to go to Congress now, which he hasn't done, to escalate and receive more funds or request more funds for this war effort. So very, very interesting, to say the least. Never ending. So if you want to come onto the chat and you want to give your opinion about this escalation in Iran, do you feel like it's necessary? Do you feel like that we should just call it quits, call it a day, and not continue further on? Do you feel like that Iran is deserving of the escalated tensions in that region? What's your opinion? I really would like to hear from you guys. So you can come on to Amir Shakur Speaks at gmail.com, and we'll post that in the chat. And I do believe that there's been ongoing escalations, obviously, with the Israeli leadership and Israeli military in the Middle East, in that region, especially in the Gaza Strip. But even with that in mind, this is a forwarding of all of that, and it takes it at least several notches above that. If you do have an opinion and you want to come onto the broadcast channel and share it, or even share it with me, Amir Shakur Speaks at gmail.com. All right. So I'm going to go to our call of action, and feel free for the next 10-15 minutes while we're on, and even after the fact, to share your voice that matters. Stand up to speak out, y'all. All right, so Amir Shakur Speaks. Our call of action is something that we're doing every week and every show, and it's not changing, but our main call to action, and I've decided, is going to be the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Every day, over 2,300 children are missing from doorsteps and communities around this country, and even on a global level. So the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children is put in place to monitor. There's a 24-hour hotline. They keep accountability to whereas there wasn't any before. So I want to go ahead and share the effort of this particular organization. And if you can join it with me, if you feel like you want to, the NEMEC is what it is. It's a worthy cause. It's worthy of your attention. If you can support it, it's worthy of that. I definitely am a pundit for it now. So let's go ahead and let's look and see what they got going on. And then I'll come back and share further information.
When a child is born, parents and caregivers have hopes and dreams for that child. We presume they will always be there with us as we guide them through the early years, through school, and all the way through that moment when we send them out on their own. And we trust that for our lifetime, our children will always be with us, near us, and safe. But what happens when our dreams don't match reality? What happens when a child disappears? At the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, we know that when a child is missing or exploited, lives are changed. We believe that every child deserves a safe childhood. Our specialized training help equip law enforcement to find missing children and protect your communities. And our education for children and families helps teach kids how to stay safe on and offline. No family should have to deal with the loss of a child. No child should have their innocence taken away. At the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, we are working every day to keep your dreams for your family a reality. Hope is why we're here.
So yes, there it is, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And if you're wanting to be a part of the effort for the National Center, you can go ahead and let me give you the contact. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, the NCMEC, has a 24-hour call line to be reached at 1-800-THE-LOSS, is what 800-843-5678. Go ahead and report if you have a child, or if you know of a child that is reported missing or exploited. And you don't even have to wait to call this number. You could also call your 911 and, report it right away. Don't wait 24 hours. Don't wait 48 hours. Report it right away. And we'll see what this database can do with, it's definitely, there is a lack of resources, but this is a resource that you can go to, and it has a wealth of resources, I should say, more or less, including a website, a 24-hour call center with the contact number, and advocates who are there ready to help you. So let's go ahead and commend those folks. They are doing God's work, like I said. All right. Thank y'all. So I want to go to our next segment, and it's a segment that I've asked folks if you guys have any information, birthday parties, be it family reunions, be it graduations, be it whatever it is. If you just want to send me a picture of you and say, hey Amir, what's up, dude, I'll look at it and I'll post it. And, it doesn't have to be anything super crazy, but, I definitely believe that, a picture can tell 1,000 words. So, it's what we're doing every day to alleviate the news cycle, right? Sometimes it gets a little doomy and gloomy, and this is what we do. So got a picture from a gentleman, Mr. Bell, and Mr. Bell has sent this in, and I just want you to see it. Okay. All right. So, if okay. They say a picture can tell 1,000 words, but this one is just screaming, Okay, I thank you for the 4K resolution. I think it's very detailed because there's a high level of details in this picture, Mr. Bell, right? And the close-up, thank you for the close-up. It's so real, and this is exactly what my front door sees when the Uber Eats person comes and they're looking in like this, trying to find the house number, right? So thank you for blessing us, Mr. Bell, with the up close and personal. I'm gonna put up close in quotation marks, and but I would like to issue a proximity alert for those who are watching. I'm gonna put that in quotations. And I've seen the high definition of, this is 4K at its best, and honestly, I feel like I need to wipe my screen off, but Mr. Bell, I really appreciate you nonetheless. And the glasses are given. I want to see the future, but I think the face is given. I'm confused about what happened 5 minutes ago, and I see your buddy in the background, and he's holding his breath or something. So I don't know. Maybe you guys are excited at the beach or something. I'm not sure, but again, thank you for sending that wonderful detail, Mr. Bell, and we appreciate you nonetheless. And interesting. If you guys want to send a picture into us, a picture can tell 1,000 words. That might have told 15,000 words, but we'll leave it alone, okay? All right. A character in a sci-fi movie. Oh my God, you are bad. You are bad, okay? Don't do it. Don't do it. So anyway, guys, Anyway, I think that's our post. And what I want to say today is that, as we continue to watch for the special edition of Where I'm At Tonight with this this crazy 48-hour notice. It's definitely it's going to either lead us to a peace deal or a devastating expansion of the war. And with Russia and China being involved, I just don't feel the warm and fuzzy about this. But anyway, with that being said, Amir Shakur Speaks morning show. You can catch us here every morning, 9 a.m. And yeah, it's another morning on the books. But as I said, here's my last out phrase. Remember, influence is not just about numbers, y'all. It's about measurement. It's about impact. Let's take our lives, let's take our strategies, and let's keep discussing these matters. Some of the things we discussed today and apply them. Hold the line of excellence versus the line of confusion. While there's a lot of confusion in the air, whether you're in the south side of Chicago, you're in Harvey, you're in the UK, you're in Canada, you're in Philly, you're wherever you're at, New York, anywhere across the map. Stay driven, stay transparent, and stay vocal, right? Stand up and speak out. I'm Amir Shakur. This has been the Amir Shakur Speaks morning show. And I want to say thank you again to our chat room VIP folks. And we'll see you again tomorrow morning. And thank you for tuning in, right? Yes, indeed. And by the way, the escalation of the war in Iran is horrible. We agree with you. Okay, well, let's hope the challenges are eliminated. But listen, for now, we will... your voice matters, guys. Look, now we'll go ahead and get off. And thank y'all. Thank you, my VIP folks, for standing up and speaking out and standing with me. And I'm Amir, and this is my time.